Hello guys, I am Dennis and welcome to the Explorer channel. This is a very humble channel and the right place for discussing about interesting topics, curious and controversial ideas. And at the same time, we're going to try practicing some English. I'm an English student too, so as I practice speaking here, making my pronunciation get better and better on each video you practice there by listening. So that's the idea of the Explorer, which means exactly that, to explore our world, our life, and bring interesting contents for basic English students. In addition to that, every video will bring a very strong message and you leave a question up in the air. Watch the video to the end and you understand that. And if you liked it, please, after watching the video, click the like button. And please, if you liked this very humble channel, as I said before, please subscribe it. So let's go to the video. Well, for this first video, I decided to bring up the possible connection between two subjects. The first deals with ufology, and the second with nuclear weapons. But before going deeper into these two topics, let me show you some of the explanation about some of the words I used to make this video. Please, let's take a look. So these are some of the words I used for making this video, and these are some of their explanation. I hope they can be useful for you to improve your English, right? So the first one is UFO. It's an abbreviation, the abbreviated form of unidentified flying object. Often refers to a mysterious object from outer space or something we can see flying in the air, but you cannot explain what really is at the moment, right? So, unidentified flying object, UFO. Second word is a phrasal verb, right? It's draw attention. That's the act of noticing something or considering something important, relevant. These are the three tenses of the verb: drawn, drew, and drawn. Next, have been increased. This is an example of the use of present perfect. It's the same of saying that something got more expressive. For example, when you have a more expensive electricity bill this month, considering the last month, we can say that the electricity bill has been increased from one price to another more expensive price, right? So the electricity bill has been increased. That is the present perfect expression, have been increased, right? Next, increasingly. It's an adverb. It means more and more or a change to a greater degree. A different form, a different way or option to saying something got more expressive, right? Next, take place. It's a phrasal verb. Another phrasal verb. It's the same of using the verb happen. The difference here is that happen is used to refer to something unpredictable. Take place is more used to describe something you already know. For example, the story I'm going to tell you takes place in the 18th century, for example, right? So take place, something you already know. Unbelievable. It's an adjective. It's very simple. The meaning here is something you can't or couldn't believe. For example, it's an unbelievable story. Or, wow, you are unbelievable beautiful today when you went to please a girl, for example, right? The next word is patrolman. Oh, I missed one L here, sorry. Patrolman, it's a noun. Normally a police officer or a person who works for any organization, a person who walks a regular area to make it safe, right? So it's a patrolman. To split, it's a verb. Well, to split is a verb used to define the action of divide, but not in a simple and gentle, soft way. It's the same of to crack, to break out into other pieces, right? So to split. I have used this verb to talk about nuclear fission procedure, so this basically splits the atom. So that's the verb, to split. The next and the last word, childish. It's another adjective. Childish means relating to or typical of a child. So if I am an adult and do something immature, maybe someone can come and call me childish, right? Something immature, childish, typical of a child. Okay, guys, I hope you liked these explanations, and I hope this can be useful for you to improve your English. Let's go back to the video. So, I have watched recently many reports on TV programs about the unidentified flying object phenomena, as known as UFO. It's an abbreviation form. And this kind of UFO incident has always drawn much of my attention. The truth is that these sightings have been increased a lot since the Second World War. And we can also say that the number of the extraterrestrial believers has become increasingly expressive in our lifetime. I personally believe we are not alone in the universe, but many people would say that it would be very difficult to any extraterrestrial form of life come or reach our world due to the longer distances involved. But one thing we have to think about, we tend to think about how hard that would be to cross long interplanetary distances, considering our technology. But we have to consider an eventual very higher technology and different technology which could eventually bring the extraterrestrial beings up to here. Maybe an unthinkable technology for us. And I think that's something to consider, as the UFO phenomenon has been reported more and more frequently in the last decades. Well, but today we're not going to consider every possible reason for an alien to be here in our planet. But instead of this, we are going to discuss about one specific reason, one specific and worrying reason. If we come back in time a little, we will find many military protocol tests involving nuclear weapons before the practical use of the atomic bomb over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which was conducted by the Manhattan Project in the early 1940s. The development of this relatively new technology took place at more than 30 sites across the USA, Canadian, and United Kingdom. The so-called Manhattan Project, for example, cost $2 billion by that time, equivalent up to more than 20 billion nowadays. But there has always been many secrets surrounding every project related to any war in our history, especially the ones related to sites that shelters nuclear weapons or equipment. The incidents related to UFO phenomena in these top secret military bases or sites were so common that we can even find many reports about the existence of specific military jobs, functions, men working for just for monitoring this unexplained area phenomena. And this raises one question to our mind here. if there is really an extraterrestrial intelligence surrounding our world, why a more evolved form of life would come after a not so evolved technology? I personally guess if they can travel through these long interplanetary distances, they are so more involved than us that they wouldn't be interested in this kind of technology or even interested in us. But if they are not interested, we could imagine they should be then worried about the use of our nuclear weapons. There are even reports of ballistic missiles controls being mysteriously turned off after the UFO sightings near military bases. So the fact is, there were and there are many UFO incidents near nuclear military bases. For example, we have the very famous case occurred in Rendlesham Forest, Suffolk, England, in late December 1908. A series of reported sightings of unexplained lights mysteriously appeared into the forest near a military base of the United States Air Force. This case became very famous because the incident was so relevant and so unbelievable that memorandum was written by that time, the so-called Halt Memorandum. Colonel Charles Halt decided to formally report the event. This was written by the Colonel Charles Halt considering reports of the Air Force Base patrolmen who were allowed to go out into the forest to investigate those strange lights movements. But are the aliens really worried about our safety? I really don't think so. And please, you guys, leave your comments about that as well. I think there is another reason, a much more serious reason, a reason that may interfere in both realities, both worlds, both dimensions. The kind of bomb which destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki is constructed with a technology capable of dividing a specific atom, and this process results in a large amount of explosive output energy. The blast, the fire, and the radiation right after that cause serious consequences on the base of nature, especially on biological tissues. I got these public pictures from the internet. Please take a look at them. Well, this video is coming to an end. I guess the nature is based on a right balance, on equilibrium. If you take a look to everything which is natural in the world, we will see equilibrium, a right and beautiful balance, sorry. The right side of our body is very similar to the left side. We have 5 fingers on each hand and foot. More important than this, we have a large natural amount of energy putting subatomic particles together, just to turn every atom as a unit in the nature. So it's not a good idea to split it out. It's obvious not a good idea. To split the atom, to change the balance of the nature, especially without control, is a very interesting and exciting idea, a very intelligent idea. But it's obviously a childish human play. The use of this technology may break the natural balance, and I really think this can draw other dimensions' attention to our world. That may explain why strange things happen near nuclear technology sites. I conclude and finish this video by giving my opinion and repeat. To split the atom, fission bombs can interfere on other worlds, dimensions, and on other form of lives too. This is immature. Well, if you like this video, be my guest to leave any comments related to my English terrible pronunciation or to the topic covered. I am Dennis the Explorer. See you next time with more interesting contents.